Archive Record 015A. Entity Designation: he who takes names. Classification: conceptual order. Status: active. Access level: restricted. The following account was compiled from surviving oral testimony gathered along the eastern coast of the Bicol region. Certain details remain disputed. However, the entity referenced across all records appears consistent. Witnesses agreed on only one detail. After the exchange, she could no longer say her own name. The entity referenced across all records appears consistent. Before the churches were raised and before the sea carried foreign names to their shores, there was a village on the eastern edge, where the land bent toward the Pacific and the wind never fully rested. Bulan learned to walk between them. Before she learned to speak in full sentences, her father brought her there when she was still small enough to ride on his hip. He would set her on a smooth stone while he worked, his blade flashing in slow, practiced movements as he cut the stalks near their base. He never rushed. A bark punished haste. Its fibers demanded patience. They were thick, the fingers scarred and hardened from years of stripping strength from living things without breaking it. He would split the stalk open, brace it beneath a wooden blade, and pull. The fibers emerged slowly, pale and shining, like something being drawn out of hiding. "Do you hear it?" she asked him once. He paused. "Hear what?" She pointed at the long strands hanging between the trees. "They sound like breathing." Her father did not answer immediately. The wind moved through the grove, carrying the smell of wet earth and distant salt. After a moment, he said, "The forest breathes as we do." She accepted this. It was not an answer, but it was enough. As Bulan grew older, she learned to strip the fibers herself. At first, her hands trembled. The strands snapped under uneven pressure, curling into useless threads. Her father corrected her gently. "Do not pull against it," he said. "Follow it." She did not understand until much later. The fiber did not yield to force. It yielded to recognition. Once she learned this, her hands became steady. Her fibers grew long and unbroken, longer than most. Sometimes, when she worked alone, she felt something watching, not with curiosity, but with attention, not hostile, not kind, present. She never saw anything. But she began to understand why her father never crossed beyond a certain line of trees. One afternoon she stepped past it without thinking. The air changed immediately. It grew heavier, as though she had walked into water. The grove was quieter there. The leaves did not whisper. The wind did not enter. She felt no fear, only the unmistakable sensation of being noticed. Not as prey, as something that had arrived where it was not expected. She stepped back. The wind returned. That night, she dreamed of standing in the grove alone, her back turned, while something behind her spoke her name in a voice she did not recognize. She did not tell her father. Years passed. There came a season when the plants began to fail. The leaves yellowed too early. The stalks softened before their time. Her father worked longer each day, returning home with less. His voice grew quieter. At night, she sometimes heard him outside, sitting awake long after the village had slept. Once, she stepped into the doorway and saw him staring toward the dark line of trees where he never went. His lips moved, not in prayer, in apology. When the Datu called for tribute, the village gathered beneath his house on the hill. Each family brought what they could. Rice wrapped in woven leaves, clay jars sealed with wax, bundles of fiber, though they were thinner than before. Her father brought nothing. He stood among them, empty-handed. Bulan stood beside him. The Datu's gaze fell upon them. It lingered. "Have you nothing to offer?" he asked. Her father opened his mouth, closed it. The silence stretched. Bulan felt it. Then that same heaviness she had known beyond the line of trees. Listening, waiting, her father spoke. "My daughter," he said, his voice raw, "can strip a Picasso fine it becomes gold." The moment the words left him, he stiffened, as though he had not meant to say them, as though something had set them through him. The air did not move. The Datu leaned forward slowly. "Bring her to my house," he said. Bulan did not look at her father. She did not need to. She could hear the shape of his regret in the silence that followed.